Before I start this review, the 1960s have produced really good classic animated shows, from the Flintstones to the Rocky and Bullwinkle series. They have their 60s storytelling and animation, but you can still watch and enjoy these shows. However, can you believe that an animated series exists that's worse than Filmation? If you don't know about Filmation, people always make fun of them and their limited animated shows. It was their way in saving money. It eventually became a style. Now, does anyone here know about the Marvel superheroes? Anyone? Marvel has made so many different shows out there. Some are amazing, some are average, some are weird but okay, and some are bad. Marvel's superheroes is the trash can for all the bad. They like to call it animation, but it's not. What this show is, it ran for a year, roughly 65 episodes with 195 segments. An episode was broken into 3 segments, making up a half-hour series, just like how Adventure Time does 2 episodes for a half-hour show, showcasing a handful of superheroes: Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, and the Submariner. I'll be focusing on the Incredible Hulk series, but this is all the same for each one. First, The Good. It's one of the few series that faithfully does Hulk's origin story. I don't know what it is, but every time in the movies they refuse to do the real origin story. You don't get to see the Gamma Bomb or Bruce rushing out to save Rick. So a lot of people who watch only the movie versions of Hulk don't even know who Rick Jones is. She-Hulk suffers the same issue. They don't do her real origin story because it involves an attempted assassination by Trask's henchmen. It got changed 2 ways: a gas line explosion in the 1982 Hulk series, and Dr. Doom capturing her in the 1996 Hulk series. Each of the episodes follow the comic book stories nearly 100%. There's a few changes in some cases, like they have Hulk be his regular green color and not his gray color, which was later changed to Mr. Fix-It. We can see the struggling friendship between Bruce and Jones, him protecting his secret about the Hulk, are done good. You even get to see his frustration in guarding his secret. Ross and Betty are okay. That's as far as I can go with The Good. The reason why I hate the series, it's billed as an animation. That's a flat out lie. There is no real animation. Filmation at least has characters move, turn, look around. It's really crap, but they do it. MSH went beyond lazy. What they did was photocopy the actual artwork from the comic book. Seeing Kirby's art is cool, but that's not animation. The only thing they really do is mouths. Sometimes you get hand, leg movement, anytime they're forced to do it. In a sense, this is the grandfather of motion comics, but they don't care about filling in the gaps. You'll have Betty talking to Bruce and then cut to another angle with them sitting on a couch. There are times a character is angry, like Ross, but the artwork shows him as scared. Other things they screw up, like when Bruce is racing towards Rick in the bomb field, the Jeep's just moving normally. They don't even have the backgrounds move faster. It can be really bad sometimes. And when they have to show something moving, they'll just have the artwork bob up and down, slide across. They even put in the Batman-style sound effect text over scenes. The worst moment was when the Gamma Bomb goes off. All they did was camera shake and sound. Nothing moves. The show is made more like a radio play than a TV show, so they were forced to put in a narrator to fill in gaps, just to give cues when someone changes emotions abruptly, because they don't have any artwork to fill in the gaps.
Silently, the monstrous being that was once Bruce Banner crouches in the shadows.
I think the worst thing was the opening. When you see the Incredible Hulk, he's supposed to be dramatic. He suffers from being a monster, forced to run away. Bruce is always buried into this mess. Friends and loved ones are put in danger. He can be a depressing character. This show decides to give him the happiest song in the world while he crushes tanks and jumps around.
Reckon the town with the power of a bull. Ain't no monster clown.
It's like it's in Bizarro World. It's even more disconnected when they tackle some of the more intense stories like Gorgon. Who's Gorgon, you say? For some reason, they changed Gargoyle's name to Gorgon. Don't ask me why. They follow everything else from his story. You hear his real name, you get the whole everyone fears him stuff. But the name, that's gotta go. I do want to remind people that Hulk acts differently in this series. This is not a mistake. Hulk was different in the beginning. He spoke more fluently and not as broken.
Bruce Banner? Who's Bruce Banner?
Max Ferguson did a good job capturing Hulk. All the voice actors did a good job in general. That's another positive I can give it. Rick Jones, you can feel his gratitude towards Bruce, his protective nature to his work, and his resentment towards Hulk. So you have the classic conflict between man and beast, which I really miss since the films like to not focus on him. If this was done by another animation studio that has them move, all the superhero shows would have been 1,000 times better. It'd be cool to see Jack Kirby and Everett Stiles move in a series, but they don't do it. Another problem is pacing. They'll cram in multiple issues into one episode. Nothing gets to really breathe. Ross and Betty don't get established enough. The show just spits out key things about the characters. Ross's nickname, Betty's love that she doesn't want to show to Bruce. We're in the middle of Hulk's origin when Gorgon is randomly brought into the story. The narrator can't even cover everything that the comics give for their transitions right. On top of that, some of the early Hulk issues have problems too, and the show just makes this worse. Gorgon was after Hulk because America created a monster that could be stronger than Gorgon. So he captures him, brings him back, finds out Bruce is Hulk. All of a sudden, he randomly changes. He wants Bruce to cure him. In minutes, Bruce figures it out, turns him human. Then get this, he's back to normal. He's not disfigured. He could live a normal life. Yeah, so he decides to defect to America's side and then blows himself up just like that to protect Bruce from being captured. All within 3 minutes. It doesn't make much sense in the comics already, but you gotta laugh when you see it in the show. Dude, you had 20 other options. This story alone could have been 2 episodes. I do have to be fair. As they went through the episodes, the animation got a little better. You actually see Bruce running cases, more arms would move, but it's too little too late. Through the 13 episodes, the show would introduce us to a lot of villains of the Hulk. Some of these characters have been rarely used. The Toadmen first premiered in this series, with their second use only happening recently in Agents of Smash. 54 years between the 2 shows. They also would bring in other villains. There's an episode with Hulk who has Spidey's enemy Chameleon in it. The series did have somewhat of a story arc. Hulk and Bruce's improvement between the 2 personalities, accepted each other. They don't get along, but it's something. If you're that curious in seeing Kirby's art on TV, or you're interested in seeing the beginnings of these comic books, that would be the reasons to check this series out. But even for me, the bad animation is too hard to get over. If you want recommendations of good Hulk cartoons, check out the 1982 series, the first season of the 1996 series. Don't watch season 2. They screwed up Hulk and She-Hulk in season 2 thanks to parents complaining about it. Plus his guest appearances in Fantastic Four 1994, Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. They also did a good She-Hulk guest episode in that show. Iron Man 1994, Iron Man Armored Adventures, and Wolverine and the X-Men, as well as his on and off use in Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes. If you want that goofy version of him that's okay quality, watch the Superhero Squad show. Definitely check out the 2 animated movies, Hulkverse and Planet Hulk, though I have some problems with Planet Hulk. It's really condensed compared to the comic. These I haven't watched to give an opinion right now. I do not recommend Iron Man and Hulk Heroes United, Avengers Assemble, and I really don't recommend Hulk Agents of Smash. It's worse than 96 Season 2. I waited 22 years for another Hulk focus series, and they ruined everyone in that show. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you remember a movie or show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.